friends, I'm ready to do my October TBR. I'm so excited for October. So I put on my Beagle skeleton shirt for this. I forget the brand of these shirts, and unfortunately they went out of business because I would have gotten more, but I'm getting the vibes in. So I'm gonna do for my TBR, there's so many good TBR games for October, so many good things, readathons, all of that. I am going to do Leandra's, she's at the TBR 0. I'm going to do her TBR Harvest game. I'll link her channel below, or her announcement video with her October TBR game, because she has a couple of options. There's a TBR Harvest, and then there's also the Haunted House. So yeah, links will be below. I also very much enjoy Leandra's channel, so if you're going over there and haven't been there before, definitely subscribe. She does reading sprints on the regular, and I really enjoy her reading sprints. So with all that said, I am going to insert footage of me playing her game now. So since my printer is not cooperating, we're just going to use this on my laptop. And this is the very cute, festive, including black cats, board that Leandra created. And I have my trusty die, however you want me to say that. Ooh, in and out of focus. So you start down here. If you can see, I'm going to start right here. And ooh, where'd you go? 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So a mostly black cover. And from there, let's roll again. A 4. So we're going to go from mostly black cover to 1, 2, 3, 4. Trick or treat. So let's see what that means. Trick or treat. This is all right. So we're right there. Let's roll one again. Where'd it go? 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. A repeat author. Okay. 6. Dang it. Okay. So 6 would be 1, 2. But I want to go there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. TBR backlist read. Well, that's perfect. See if we can get to the pumpkin patch. How many books would it take us? 5. All right, so we're right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that count? Are we in the pumpkin? I think we're in the pumpkin patch. So that works. So I have 4 prompts that we should do. All right, so I got, I did 4 prompts from hers, and the first prompt I got was a mostly black cover. And for that, I'm going to read And Then She Fell by Alicia Elliott. This was on the long list for the women's prize, and I just never got to it. On the surface, Alice is exactly where she thinks she should be. She's just given birth to a beautiful baby girl, Dawn. Her charming husband, Steve, a white academic whose area of study is conveniently her own Mohawk culture, is nothing but supportive. And they've moved into a new home in a posh Toronto neighborhood. But Alice could not feel more like an imposter. She isn't connecting with her daughter, a struggle made even more difficult by the recent loss of her own mother, and every waking moment is spent hiding her despair from Steve and their ever-watchful neighbors, among whom she's the sole Indigenous resident. Even when she does have a minute to herself, her perpetual self-doubt hinders the one vestige of her old life she has left, her goal of writing a modern retelling of the Haudenosaunee creation story. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. Then, as if all that wasn't enough, strange things start to happen. She finds herself losing bits of time and hearing voices she can't explain, all while her neighbor's passive-aggressive behavior begins to morph into something far more threatening. Okay, I don't want to read anymore. But I've seen reviews for this. It's literary, but it might also have some paranormal or spooky-ish kind of creepy vibes, so I'm in for it. All right, so the next was Trick or Treat, which the Trick or Treat board, I'll put a picture of somewhere. And I'm not sure which prompt I'm gonna do off the board, but I'm kind of leaning towards Wayward by Amelia Hart. I've heard a lot about this one, and I didn't originally get it from Book of the Month. It was a recent, like, I added it on to an order. So we've got 2019, Under Cover of Darkness. Kate flees London for ramshackled wayward cottage inherited from a great aunt she barely remembers. With its tumbling ivy and overgrown garden, the cottage is worlds away from the abusive partner who tormented Kate. But she soon suspects that her great aunt had a secret, one that lurks in the bones of the cottage, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. It goes into 2 more timelines. I don't want to read a lot. I don't know if y'all have had this happen, but I've had a few blurbs recently that kind of spoiled things for me, or kind of misrepresented what was in the book. And so I'm not all into blurbs these days, but I've heard a lot of good things about this. I am way behind on the hype on this one, so this is getting read this October. Okay, so the next prompt that I got was the repeat author. So for that one, I'm thinking Alice Hoffman. I have a number of her books left on my shelves to read. Her most recent is The Invisible Hour. This is about a cult. Another one I have is The Third Angel by Alice Hoffman. This is about like 3 different women's love stories and how they don't make very good choices. Magic Lessons is book number 1 in the Practical Magic series. Y'all don't hate me. I've never seen Practical Magic. Isn't that a movie? This is about the Owens bloodline. And there's some movie adaptation about it with like Nicole Kidman, and I know I didn't really get into it before, but I might want to try this now. It's the story of Maria Owens, accused of witchcraft in Salem, and the matriarch of the remarkable Owens family, featured in Practical Magic and the Rules of Magic. So this is book 1. And then I also have Here on Earth by Alice Hoffman. This is the story of March Murray, who after 19 years returns to a small Massachusetts town where she grew up. She's been avoiding it because of her own troubled history. She encounters Hollis, the boy she loves so desperately, and the man who has never forgotten her. The past collides with the present as their reckless love is reignited. It's a dark romantic tale about whether it's possible to survive a love that consumes you. If y'all have read any of these, let me know which one you would recommend. I'm interested in all of them. You know, they've been here on Earth has been on my TBR shelf for a long time, and the Third Angel has as well. I have read several other Alice Hoffmans and really enjoyed her writing. It's strange, but amazing. So let me know, which one would you read? And then the fourth pick I got was a TBR backlist read, and I need to work on I had a goal of 12 books to read in 2024. 12 books that have been on my shelves for a long time. I am behind on that. I did get one of the big, thick books read in September, which I'll tell you more about that in my wrap-up video. But I decided I'm going to prioritize the ones that I'm pretty sure I want to read the full thing and not unhaul them. So I'm going to read I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith. I've heard a lot of great things about this book, and it's set in an area of England where my dad grew up, and so I'm kind of interested in that as well. It's the story of 17-year-old Cassandra and her family who live in a not so genteel poverty in a ramshackled old English cottage. She strives over 6 turbulent months to hone her writing skills. She fills 3 notebooks with sharply funny yet poignant entries. Her journals candidly chronicle the great changes that take place within the castle walls and her own first descent into love. By the time she pens her final entry, she has, quote, captured the castle and the heart of the reader. So they're calling it Enchanted. I'm very interested in this book. Like I said, it is a part of England that I want to know more about. I think didn't I have another book about a ramshackled property? That is totally my vibe too. All right, so those were my 4, but then I thought I actually have a book that could fulfill all of the prompts in one, which I'm not going to do. Maybe. I don't plan to. Let's just say that. So I had a mostly black cover, the trick or treat board, which this would definitely meet some of the prompts on there, a repeat author, and a backlist. This is His and Hers by Alice Feeney, mostly dark cover, black cover. And I have read everything by Alice Feeney except His and Hers. I was holding on to this because I've heard a lot of great things about it. I didn't want to read it until I knew when Alice Feeney's next book was going to come out, because she's just someone that I need to read all her books. And this is the last backlist book to read. And Alice Feeney's coming out with a new book. Yay! In 2025, in the early part, I think January actually. So His and Hers is when a woman is murdered in Blackdown, newsreader Anna Andrews is reluctant to cover the case. Detective Jack Harper is suspicious of her involvement until he becomes a suspect in his own murder investigation. Yeah, so I may just read this one to meet all the prompts, or I may read the other ones. I'm still feeling like I kind of talked about in my wrap-up, my mid-month wrap-up for September. I'm kind of just in a weird reading space, and I think some of what I read in September and August kind of has led me to that. So we'll see, but I'm hoping to read maybe all 5 books, like not all Alice Hoffman. We got to pick one of those, but Then there's another one that I'm really interested in, another readathon called Hallowtween, which is, I think it was created by Storm at Storm Reads, and she has a co-host this year who is, I wrote it down, Beth at Soul Stained Ink. This is where you kind of read spooky middle grade. So I don't own a lot of middle grade books. I think most of the middle grade that I have read have been library books. Basically this year, Storm and Beth are doing, not really doing prompts so much as kind of a vibe, and it's trick or treat. So either kind of a treat of a book or one that's, I don't know, a little bit more scary. This is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. It's been on my, I think I got this last year actually. But it's about fairy tales. It's got evil and demons. And so I feel like that could meet sort of the vibe of Hallowtween. Also have out from the library, Disappearing House by Alice Hoffman, about a house that just kind of appears at the end of a street. And Jack is the first to see it, and she kind of checks it out with some of her friends. But Jack has a history of having cancer, and she's having some symptoms. She's wondering if it is her cancer coming back. So I'm interested in this one as well. That's Hallowtween. I also would like to read an Agatha Christie, and I really enjoy Agatha Christie. I just haven't read much recently. I've also never read Death on the Nile, which is one of her more popular books. And so this is going to be on my TBR, and I might watch an adaptation. If you're unfamiliar with it, let's read. The tranquility of a cruise along the Nile was shattered by the discovery that Lynette Ridgway had been shot through the head. She was young, stylish, and beautiful, a girl who had everything until she lost her life. Hercule Poirot recalled an earlier outburst by a fellow passenger. "I'd like to put my dear little pistol against your head and just press the trigger. Yet in this exotic setting, nothing is ever quite what it seems." So that'll be a good Agatha Christie, kind of fill in that need that I have right now. And then I did pull a nonfiction I would like to read off my shelf. I'm going to try and get the audiobook because I do like reading nonfiction by audiobook. This is One Person, No Vote, How Voter Suppression is Destroying Our Democracy by Carol Anderson. I've heard a lot of good things about this book, and coming up on an election, I definitely want to be reading more nonfiction about voting rights in the US. So that's kind of my October TBR. Help me pick an Alice Hoffman book if you've read any of the ones that I mentioned. Let me know in the comments what you think I should read. What are you reading? Are you participating in any of the readathons? Let me know, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.